Robots and wrestlers will not be seen tonight. Instead, we bring you this stupid program. Good evening, and welcome to Cult of Contempt. The show will begin shortly as soon as we get transmission to space. Ow! In the meantime, let's... And now, Cult of Contempt Podcast presents
Out and About with Jim Cook.
That's right. We sent Jim Cook to talk to people.
I'm on Route 20, the evilest of all evil highways in Route 20. Destination, Burger King. This is a really fucking boring video. Yeah, can we do something, please? Just place your order and move along, man. The fuck was that about? Alright, we moved up one car length. If you're poor like me, you find yourself at fast food joints just to get like the cheap stuff. It used to be called the dollar menu, but then the corporations got wise that poor people were eating cheap, so they raised the prices. You know what? Throw in one of your tacos. Taco? Yeah, I'm gonna try that taco. My friend Paul told me your tacos are amazing. Cult of Contempt. It's almost 2 a.m. in Bergen County, and I'm gonna eat a taco at Burger King? What? The waiting is the hardest part. Every day is one more yawn. Hey, sweetie. Here's 3. Ta-da! It's a taco at Burger King. In the 1980s, that would have blown someone's mind.
And here's something new right before your eyes.
It tastes like despair.
Add an extra touch to Christmas with a gift from Burger King.
Next time on Out and About, Robert De Niro impressions in public.
Are you talking to me? You talking to me?
Wake up, people. I think I'd give it a solid B. I think Taco Bell tacos... Oh shit, did I run out of power? Hello, fine Americans, Sean Rushmore here. Do not go to the Clash Bar on August 17th. There is a liberal plot to get men to wear women's clothing. If I wanted my women to have penises, I would have married Barbara Bush 40 years ago. True story. It started in Kennebunkport. I am completely appalled and want no part of this piece. But I do want you to see Strip Down Aces, Mange Party, and 68 Mathematics, plus Paul Fogg and the Fernandez. Isn't that guy a government shill? Cult of Contempt presents Allie and Jim's tribute to the Clash Bar. After this one, the Clash Bar may never be the same. With Santos Menendez starring as Divine.
Inquisitor is looking grimly with an inquiry. It's time to name the asshole of the week soon. Cult of Contempt. Cult of Contempt. Cult of Contempt. Wednesdays at 8:15.
24-hour party people.
Wow.
Hey guys,
wow.
Remember that?
24-hour party people?
Yes. You mentioned that old hag, Barbara Bush. I hated her because she told me to read.
But Nancy Reagan said to not use drugs, but I don't know, you were like still a fetus when that was happening.
Just say no.
Oh, you know what? I have the light of Christ behind me. Hold on. Christ.
So guys, the bottom line with the Burger King tacos, very salty. I think it's a scam to sell their
Jimmy
Martha
ate some
soda.
Burger King taco.
That sounds like a fucking abomination, man. A Burger King taco?
I don't know. It's just like, you know, if I'm working a supermarket for a demo, sometimes if I don't want to spend a lot of money on lunch, I'll get a pot pie for 99 cents.
Okay.
That taco was no worse than the pot pie.
Right.
Probably had just about the same amount of salt and probably, you know, just gonna give me the heart attack. You know.
To me, the taco.
How did it compare to Taco Bell? That's the standard.
I was gonna get to that, but my phone cut off, so I never. I thought the Taco Bell meat is a better quality, and
even though 2/3 of it is cardboard.
Did they use the Whopper meat for this taco?
I couldn't figure it out.
Like a baby or something?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it came in a bag and they just put it in something and heat it up. But the thing was, it was very salty, and it's just like, okay. So Allie and I, when we make our tacos, we get our taco seasoning in bulk. You save a lot of money that way. You pay $1 a pop for those Sargento ones.
Yeah.
And, you know, we did the math. It's like 10 cents a serving if you get the big thing.
Wow.
So one day I decided when the meat was browned and it was all, you know, and it cooked, you know, you add the water and it cooks down. So then I sprinkled a little more to make them special. And Allie's like, why are they grainy and really salty? That's exactly what this Burger King tasted like. It was like they put too much taco seasoning on it. And I was like, it's a solid B. Like, I feel like a taco and I happen to be at a Burger King, I'll get one. Like, it's no worse than like a Stouffer's meal or like, you know, a Dollar Tree steak.
Like all the times I feel like having a waffle and I'm at a White Castle.
That chicken and waffle sandwich was all right. I like. Cause
You guys see my new glasses?
Oh my god! Where'd you get this?
Showering! The dog shit on the floor again!
Actually, Lennon sported those way before. I'm not even talking John Lennon. I'm talking V.I. Lennon had those glasses.
Where's Yoko Ono? I'm gonna hit a bitch.
You know, when we changed the name, I never got to do that, you know, real assholes in rock and roll bit that I was gonna do. And
But we could do it right now.
yeah.
Good.
All right. Everybody, name the biggest asshole you can think of in rock and roll history. Paul, you want to go first? Or you want to go last?
Oh no, I was naming myself.
Oh, all right, man.
I'll go first. Because I love to just shit on John Lennon as a person. I think he's a great songwriter. I think a lot of people are great songwriters. But I think that goes hand in hand with just being kind of a piece of shit. Or maybe hands around neck in being like a person that's just a piece of shit.
He beat the crap out of Julian's mom, from what I understand. And it was said in a couple rock biographies. Like, Richards alluded to a lot of his abuse and thought he was hypocritical in life, I think. I don't know. It's funny. I got to start to learn to read again. Allie just gives me highlights of the rock biographies, but and then I just play it off like I know it. But anyway.
All you need is love. Smack.
Yeah.
All you need is love.
But
Smack.
no, I mean,
Sometimes you've got to smack a bitch.
I think he smacked Yoko when he had his lost weekend. She said, okay, here, have this whore that looks like me for a weekend.
Pang Lee or whatever the fuck her name was.
And he was like, you know, fucking on.
I'm gonna top that.
Yeah.
Where's Ringo? I'm gonna call him.
I'm sorry, your Lennon sounds like Vincent Price.
Yes. Where's Ringo? I'm going to call him. I'm just gonna do Vincent Price. Do fucking John Lennon as Vincent Price because he's a fucking ghoul. Oh yes, where's Yoko? I'm going to give her a smack. Excellent.
Lennon always kind of had a kind of tone to him, like, you know, what are you doing? You know, that
Hey, what are you doing, mate?
People still
It's like
idolize
Norm MacDonald but British. British women.
Nah.
All you need is love.
Yeah.
Smack.
Now, who else was a big ass? Besides Ted Nugent,
Ike Turner, who may very well have been a part of the first rock and roll song of all time, Rocket 88. As the story goes, Ike Turner showed up to the studio. It was Sun Studios in Memphis, and the amp fell onto the ground, and the tubes broke, and they stuffed newspaper in it, giving it a distorted sound. The rest is history.
Too bad it didn't fall on him.
Yes, because he beat the fuck out of Tina Turner, abused her, and like tried to own her name. Like,
yeah.
And that was going on. Phil Spector's another dickhead. What he did to Darlene Love, career-wise and personally, he just shit on her. He would like have her record songs and then put other people's names on them. He used to hit her. He when she made a comeback, he bought her contract and put her under his thumb again. Just totally fucked with that woman. And if it wasn't for Letterman, she probably would have faded into obscurity. Letterman would bring her back like every Christmas. And one of the most sweetest, soulful voices I have ever heard recorded on vinyl, and her stuff always sounds better on vinyl. I have a Phil Spector Christmas record I listen to when we open gifts on whatever day we have to figure out. It depends on where we're traveling to. But yeah, Ike Turner's an asshole, and Phil Spector is a total dick. And Phil Spector fucking killed the guy, so there's that. Anybody in rock and roll you think is an asshole?
Gene Simmons from Kiss, who invented everything.
So, I mean, do you guys chime in on the devil horn thing? Everybody says Ronnie James Dio said that his grandma used to do this to curse people.
It is.
So he thought it was cool.
My grandma used to do this to curse the people. Ooh.
You make him seem like, you know, he's always on, but like, have you ever seen him? He's like, how you doing? You know, he's just very casual.
I'm Ronnie James, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, dude, that was like Gilbert too. Like Gilbert Gottfried is like the most nervous. Oh, hey man, you know, you were really funny. That was a great joke. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. He's just like so nervous, like talking to like one person. Like, fuck, get this guy away from me.
Yeah, like, I think, isn't there like a term like the switch? Like when you get on stage, like you switch, you just tap into something that, you
I don't know. I always find it's easy for me. I find it way easier to talk to like a large group of people. I can entertain a room so much better than I can entertain the one person I have to talk to. A lot of the time, like I can't have like a telephone conversation as normal with any person. I hate fucking picking up the phone. Fucking hate it. Like hello. And I have to write down the person's name as soon as they say it. Because I don't remember what it is. Like I take notes as soon as somebody calls. It's like, oh, this is this person from this company. Okay, who are you trying to reach? And then it's like, go to that. I don't even use the transfer thing because we work in like a big office. I just put them on hold. Oh, hold on 1 second. And then it's like, there's a call on line 1 for this person. I just yell out their name. I don't give a fuck, but because I hate talking on the phone, I just want to like kick it as far away from me as possible to whoever else has to do it.
It must be a joy to work with.
Oh, I'm a treasure. I am a fucking treasure.
Well,
I've worked, it's been like months till they finally realized that I had the away button on my phone. But nobody calls me anyway. They just call the girl next to me if they want to reach me, and then she just tells me.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta set up boundaries, you know? Healthy boundaries.
I've had many a day on the phone and many jobs. Telemarketing fucking sucks. I would never do it again. Ever. I worked for Dial America out in Wanacue.
Dial America.
What?
This is Jim Cook for Dial America.
Are you happy with your phone service?
Oh, God.
That kind of shit.
I did, as seen on TV, the customer service line.
Oh, God.
That was super awful. You know, the fucking thigh trainers and shit like that?
The Thigh
Master?
The Thigh Master, yeah. Those things would fucking break, or they
Can
would
we
fly
talk
up.
to Suzanne?
Yeah.
Is she there?
They would fly up and smack somebody, but what was horrible was the boss's wife would come in and stay there for a few months and just annoy the shit out of us until her husband threw her out. But he cheated on her one time, and I guess that gave her the onus to be there all the time.
One time?
So people are calling up telling us like their Jack LaLanne juicer is broken, and she's like, no, upsell him. I'm like, the thing he bought doesn't work, and you want me to sell him more of them?
Yeah.
How does that work? No, sweetie, there's a way to do it. You need to upsell him. Like, are you out of your fucking mind, lady?
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with those kind of jobs. Like, they want you to do douchey things that you're not comfortable with.
I just walked the fuck out. One day I was just like, all right, I've had enough of this shit. I don't give a fuck. I gotta do something else. This is ridiculous.
My brother did telemarketing for years, and his trick was always like, if he was calling somebody down south, like, "Hey pal, how you doing?" Like he would use what sounded to me like the most offensively fucking horrible impersonations of an accent ever. But that motherfucker made sales, and he just turned it into a game, like, because he was selling male enhancement. Like, dude, he sold male enhancement, but it was also too like, yeah, you sign up for this trial. And after 21 days, we're going to bill your credit card if you don't cancel. And the people wouldn't cancel, and then they would get billed. But they got a free fucking, whatever, this amount of shit, mail
Was it
enhancement.
like pills or a vacuum tube or?
I forget what the hell it was called. But it had like a name.
It was probably Nugenics, right?
No. I forget. It was like...
was it the one that Jimmy Johnson was doing? Benz or Ends or
No, I forget the name. I can't remember it, but it was something stupid. Like it didn't, like, something almost offensive. Like, I can't imagine anyone ever agreeing. Like, yeah, I want this to come to my house so I can take it. But I don't know. I guess if you have a hard time getting your fuck on, you know, some guy calls you on the phone. I don't know how he would get the numbers, like where they got their leads from, like. Who, you know, what did you buy the subscribers for, like Maxim? Like, how the fuck are you finding people to sell this?
There's
Like,
a company that goes between, but
This was before the internet, right? So it wasn't like, you know, somebody clicked on that.
No, it wasn't
fucking-
before the internet. It was like probably 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that long ago.
the thing is with the telemarketing job, like, if I didn't have that job, I probably wouldn't have got my one acting gig doing, I played a telemarketer in a commercial.
Right.
And this dude that I met through Courtney, his name's James, I forget his last name right now. He's like an editor for this, you know, SC on TV company. And he put out a thing on Facebook. Anybody want to play a telemarketer? I was like, I play one. I made a video. And I didn't hear anything for like, I don't know, 24 hours. And all of a sudden I got the call. I made like half of what I make in a week in 2 hours.
Wow. Nice.
All right. Yeah, I'm fudging the numbers a bit, but it was
that Hollywood money right there.
It's like, and most I got paid for just sitting in a chair and talking to this punk rock chick who was doing my hair. It was cool. It was cool. She was like, well, not so much punk rock. She was one of those like arty chicks, and she was European. And she's like, oh, your skin tone, you're very European. It was cool. It was cool.
Let me touch your hair. Oh, that's what we always used to say about the librarian in our high school. Like, that she was just like a creepy fucking devil witch that was like stealing our energy. Oh, let me touch your hair. Like, she's just like a fucking horrible person.
Did she really touch your hair?
No. We were always like fucking. We didn't care about being in the library and having her tell us how the fucking internet worked. It's like, lady, I could teach you how the fucking internet works. Right. And she would like yell at, like, me and my friends would just sit at our own table, and she'd be like, "Are you paying attention?" We're like, "No, we're good, we're good." Like, we just were dicks to her all the time, but we were like good students, so there was really nothing. Like, what are you gonna do? They fucking know what you're teaching. You're wasting their time, and just kind of being a cunt generally every day. The fucking librarian was horrible in my high school. I fucking hated her.
The thing with the computer labs, I knew this dude. There were these three brothers. They were called the Looney Brothers. Their last name literally was Looney, and I believe it was Mike Looney. Did a he did a screenshot of the Windows page and put it up.
And then took all the icons away?
But yeah, so, well, no, the icons were there, but it wasn't Windows. It was just a picture of Windows, and the computer teacher could not figure it out and was swearing in the class, and they called him in and said, Mike Looney, what the fuck did you do to this computer? Sussex County, yeah. You know, and I just thought that was the cleverest thing I ever heard. Like, fucking with the, you know, because I had a computer class, and you knew what kids had computers since they were little kids. I didn't have a computer in my house. My father freaked out when a microwave came into the house. He thought he was, you know, we're on nuke and shit. And it was me that actually converted him because I put in a piece of bread for 10 seconds and he went, oh, where'd you get this hot, fresh bread? And I was like, microwave. After this whole like showdown with my sister where she's like, get that fucking thing out of the house. It was a mess. Wow. My sister got her first job and she wanted to do something nice for my parents, so she bought him a microwave. My dad freaked the fuck out because he was afraid of them. And it was bad. And then it stayed somehow. It was negotiated, and I was using it. And that's where I first started learning to cook. But yeah, the cook household. Yeah.
I love fucking old people resisting technology. One of my favorite family stories is, I think on my mom's first date with my dad, this should have been a sign. And then maybe it wasn't the first date, but it might have been. I think my dad bought his brothers maybe bought my grandfather one of those dishwashers, but you had to like wheel it over. Like it wasn't like built in, it was like on wheels, and it had like an in and an out to water goes in and then it drains or whatever. Yeah. And I guess he hadn't used it because my grandmother was alive to wash the fucking dishes that she did for another 50 fucking years. Right. And I don't know, my dad was like sassing my grandfather about it, and my grandfather picked up his fucking dinner plate and threw it like down the table, like they were sitting at the opposite ends. Oh shit. And the plate didn't connect with my dad. It connected with about 2/3 of the way down the table and then shattered, and then glass like from it just shot into my dad's arm. Holy shit. And he had to get stitches. Holy shit. And then my mom married into this family. Jesus Christ. But yeah, dude, technology's. Yeah, if like you get them something and they don't fucking have an interest in using it, it's like it'll just sit there, or they'll make you take it away. Yeah. Yeah. That older generation, like even like with, I remember my parents with the cell phone, like. I love the odd thing of how, like, nobody wanted cell phones. Oh, they're going to give you cancer. And then everybody after 9/11 got cell phones. And there was that whole push of, like, don't talk to strangers on the internet. Don't get in cars with strangers. And now we call a stranger on the internet and get in a car. Yeah. Yeah. Get in their car and go somewhere.
Yeah, like the irony of it's crazy. Yeah.
You know, even, like, don't meet people on the internet. Now, like, online dating is, like, the hugest thing.
Right, and there's just all kinds of crazy, just, meet to fuck kind of stuff.
The times they are a-changin'.
Well, I think a lot of it was the propaganda in this country sold a lot of people a bill of goods that, if you went anywhere with other people there, it was scary. Somebody had a gun or something. Kind of ridiculous. I remember when I was first going to Africa and people were warning me, you're going to get AIDS there. I'm like, I'm not planning to fuck anyone with AIDS. How am I going to get AIDS there? Well, you're going to get a disease and die. Nothing ever happened to me. I was fine.
You had to get your Hep B shot.
You had to get a bunch of shots and shit, though. You can't just...
I think it was
if I just took you right now with the skyhook, like Batman... what Batman movie was that where he used the skyhook and he grabs that guy and drops him in China? It was one of the newer ones. If I did that without you getting any vaccinations, you'd probably get bit by a bug and fucking die.
Yeah.
You have to be careful when you travel other places, and you have to take care of yourself, but you have to be careful in this fucking country.
You're lucky I don't have the skyhook, because I would test that. You don't have to be careful in this country. This country is totally germ-free. Nobody has any diseases.
Really?
Dude, I see them in...
I don't know. Probably.
I see them in the demolition store all the time with the masks.
Jesus.
And, especially in the wintertime, it's crazy.
Masks?
Yeah, like masks so you don't have to breathe in. It seems that, I'm not trying to stereotype, but it seems most often it's Asians who wear the masks.
Oh, I thought they were Bane cosplayers.
That's funny.
And Michael Jackson used to do it too. I mean, that doesn't really sell it as anything normal.
Them to his demise.
Well, it's like in Korea, they have dust that comes from China every year, and it goes over all the
factories. It's China dust season. Wear your masks, everybody.
In March, you have to wear masks.
Right, otherwise you're going to breathe that shit in, you get mesothelioma or something.
Well, it's like, it bothers people with asthma, and a lot of people get like allergy.
Do you know someone who worked at the shipyards and dealt with asbestos?
Yeah, they should get fucking Danza to do mesothelioma commercials.
Yeah, mesothelioma.
Did you ever work with asbestos?
You might have what is it? Mesothelioma. You might have mesothelioma.
Did you ever see the PSA he did do about how to talk to a retarded person?
No.
How do you talk to a retarded person? Like a person. Look it up.
He says retarded person?
I think he says retarded, or does he say handicapped? I thought he said retarded. I think it was back in the days when retarded was the acceptable nomenclature.
Holy shit.
We gotta YouTube that.
I definitely have to look that up.
That's gonna be a cliffhanger.
I might be wrong.
We're gonna find that for next week if it really exists.
Yeah, I apologize to the handicap community for using the word. But
cripples!
Yeah. I don't know, I use lame all the time and Paul gets all pissy.
No, I don't really get all pissy. You know who does? It's like, it's funny. Like, I use lame all the time too.
I don't think you really
but it's,
get pissy.
It's like something to think about. It's like you know, like Bobby Steele's a cripple. He gets upset when people say lame, you know?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just, but you're funny that way. Like, you call people by stereotypical names. Like, you're on Facebook. Like, where how are my wops?
Yeah, that was something we were
Well, I'm
trying
gonna
to
bring
start out.
WAPs back.
Yeah.
And
Bring it back.
Where's you were big.
Yo, what's up, my WAP?
Yeah.
What's up, my guinea?
Faggot was used, and then
My name on Facebook is Hey Faggot. Like my nickname, like you can't write it in a post, but my nickname on Facebook is Hey Faggot, and I'm like, I kind of want to change that, but I kind of don't, because I like the days when punk was called Hey Faggot. You know, like I've seen that meme, so I just.
oh god, that's the jock story from that Dead Kennedys record. You know,
Yeah.
Hey faggots, and he threw some water on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his giant Hot Wheels car. I used to recite that at shows, like when people would break strings. I've long forgotten it. It's called Night of the Living Rednecks.
Yeah,
it's
Night
on
of the Living Rednecks.
Give me convenience or give me death.
I picked up a brick. He like said the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So I threw a rock.
Yeah.
And I put a jip in your giant Hot Wheels car. I love Jello,
He's
man.
great.
Yeah.
He is great.
I mean, did you guys ever see the old footage of him performing? Like, he'd wear these green rubber gloves, and it was all this weird,
Weird hand movements.
Yeah,
that he was
yeah.
doing.
I am gonna Jackie Brown. I fucking love Jello. Like, he's
Yeah.
crazy, intelligent, but crazy.
This spoken word is worth your time too.
Yeah, I have
very
a
nice.
triple album. Something Gift Police. I forget the whole. It's a long title, but it's very anti-corporate, anti-establishment kind of stuff. I mean, he is a radical.
He ran for like mayor or something in San Francisco, and he got a significant portion of the vote. And then after that, they changed it that you have to run on your Christian name. He can no longer run as Jello.
No, he got an eighth of it.
Yeah, something like that.
Like he was in the lower. He didn't do that well.
But he took votes away from somebody else, so the politicians are going to.
He didn't take votes away from anybody. That was the election where a fucking porn star ran.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was like fucking. That was like a freak show.
You're talking about the governor later, but he ran for actual mayor of San Francisco.
Yep.
And there was this old photo of him with a vacuum saying, "I'm going to clean up City Hall."
Oh, he ran for
Yep.
mayor of San Francisco. He ran for governor too.
Of California when.
Oh, I didn't know he ran for mayor.
Oh yeah, he ran for mayor.
Oh my
early.
god.
He did rather well.
Yeah, he took votes away from other people.
20% of the vote is significant.
Do you think should I run for mayor?
I'd go for you, but I don't live
You
in
always want to
California.
run for something. Who's gonna vote for you?
I don't know, but if we have this show, maybe we can talk about the issues of this town. Just, use this town, like we'll just be a parasite on it and just get a lot of followers, and I'll be a politician. A great looking politician. I started wearing my hair in a ponytail.
Oh, nice.
You can't tell.
But
I'm like Shawn Michaels now.
I guess if Trump can get elected, why can't you?
Exactly.
But what if we all we started our own cult of content political movement, and we started winning
cock
at the local
party?
levels? Yeah, the cock party.
Welcome to the cock party. 'Cause there's nothing that middle-aged white men like more than to vote for the cock party.
The cock party. Gwen Lopez is watching the cock party.
Don't just watch Gwen participate.
That's
But
just
if you, we're taco friendly too, so.
Yeah, that's true.
that's a
But not
Burger
Burger
King
King.
taco. That doesn't count.
Burger King taco does not count. I'm sure like there's like, you know, remember those old commercials with the Indian guy crying because everything was polluted? I feel like there's a Mexican guy crying somewhere because there's fucking tacos in Burger King. That's just like
I want to make a video of the opposite, where I go to like a park that's all cleaned up, and I cry because there's not garbage everywhere.
What am I gonna write a song
I miss
about?
the days where I could see what different Coke cans look like.
I miss the condoms and the broken glass on my playground at my school when I was a child. It was great. We had this like wooded area. Now they surrounded it with a fence. Like there's like trees and then a fence. And back in my day, if you didn't see those motherfuckers watching you, you could just wander into the fucking woods.
Nice.
And you know, you had to come back eventually. Like when everybody started gathering around the stairs, it's like, yeah, sneak back out of the woods now.
Yeah.
Because they're like trying to herd everyone down the stairs. They walk past them like, oh, how did we miss you? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you were looking at, Mrs.
Nice.
San Giovanni, you old hole. But we
Her name
would
is San
find,
Giovanni.
we would find fucking beers like that were just unopened, like somebody's stash of like some high school kids probably
Oh, yeah.
their stash of beer.
I found that
fucking
in the woods,
broken
too.
condoms.
Nice.
They would just break glasses, I think, all the time, or break bottles on the basketball court.
Nice.
Because like somebody always had to sweep away the broken glass before we could play. Well, we didn't even have a basketball. We would just jump rope on it. You know, or do what was that thing where you draw those squares on the ground?
Oh yeah, hopscotch.
Hopscotch. I was a good hopscotcher.
I bet.
And yeah, there was this thing in the woods. Somebody like hung a rope so you could like swing.
Oh yeah.
But then you just swung into trees and fell off like a retarded George of the Jungle. I'm surprised nobody ever got paralyzed back there.
What's wrong with Nutley, man? There's something in the water in this town. I've just heard
Oh,
so
it's
many
from
stories.
Hoffman LaRoche.
Oh yeah,
That's what's in the water.
Where did the garbage go? And have like a thing, and then we just start littering.
It's like
again.
kids that were my age. Like I've heard stories of kids like doing coke off the desk while the fucking teacher wasn't watching and all this kind of stuff.
I was
Like,
thinking about shit I used to do
Nutley, man.
while the teacher wasn't watching. My favorite thing would be that I would take a pencil and just throw it into the ceiling.
Oh, I love that.
And then wait until the teachers fucking turned around writing on the board, and I would get up and I would stand on my chair and like reach up to the ceiling and like pull it down.
Nice.
And my classmates would just be like, I never got caught doing that.
Nice.
Not fucking one time. I never fell. Could you imagine the calamity of me falling from that height, reaching for a pencil out of the ceiling?
I would totally lose it, man. One of the funniest ones I ever saw in high school was they got these kids, they had razor blades in the fucking library. We had like the library science hour where we were basically doing nothing. So they cut out all the sensors in the books and snuck them into everybody's backpack. So every kid that went through, the fucking sensor would go off. Beep! The fucking alarm's going off and shit. Beep! The next one's fucking... The librarians lost their minds, didn't know what the fuck to do. Meanwhile, they were like stealing books out of the fucking library, magazines and shit. They walked right through, no problem. I was just like, this is fucking chaos, but this is great.
That's the best part of like, I don't know, I miss the days. Like being in high school, like people would do like fucking crazy shit that you can't really get away with in the real world.
No
like
way.
That, you know, like if you went into an Old Navy and cut all those things off and just snuck them in everyone's purse and then stole a whole bunch of shit.
They'd have me on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, see, they don't put cameras in the schools because of pedophiles. Because then, you know, it's like the pedophile principal might be watching it.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. These kids.
Oh my god.
No, not Nutley, but
Yeah,
in
really.
other towns.
I'm sure.
No, the principal in Nutley High School is awesome.
Yeah?
He was the coolest teacher I ever had. I shot a short film with him when I was in high school.
Cool.
Where he was a hall monitor that beats the shit out of kids with a bat.
Nice.
Because he would always like kind of bust balls, like if he was real sarcastic, and he would sit outside the lunchroom, and when people would walk past him, he'd be like, 5 minutes, that's all you got. You know, kind of like, he was busting their balls. Like, he knew they're going to the bathroom, they're going to come back. Like, he's just kidding with them, but I'm like, this is fucking comedy gold. Right. So we made a movie for, because Film Video Club. So it's called Hall Duty. You might be able to find it.
Nice.
It's still on the internet somewhere.
Nice.
And I always think about it, I'm like, man, that guy's the principal now. Like, that movie's pretty fucking crazy. It's like him beating the shit out of a kid. I have another teacher talking about, like, I forget what the first line is. He's like, he says something silly, and then he goes, his favorite something is this, and it was a good play on words. I don't remember it at the moment. He goes, and his favorite step is the goose step. And the guy starts goose stepping in the movie. He's a fucking Spanish teacher. I think he's Italian, but he's like a nut. But like this movie, I'm like watching it now. I'm like, fuck, this is like incriminating for like every person that's involved. And it was just like a silly student movie, but somebody could take it out of context,
right,
and really make everybody's life like miserable.
Oh my god.
You know, like it's just one of those things that like you don't realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
As like a, you know, it was just like a silly movie.
Right.
We just all thought it was funny. It was just a joke, but like somebody could see it now, and like it could negatively affect that guy's career. And I feel genuinely bad about that. But it also has my real name attached to it, so everybody will know my real name, and then they'll find my dad. So imagine how bad that'll be.
So if you really want to fuck up the principal's life in Nutley High School, you know how to do it.
No, I don't want us all call your dad and ask for bad hormones records.
That would be hilarious.
Just fucking scam your dad. Fucking spam him with all kinds of weird calls.
Or be like, did you know your son just signed a six-figure record deal?
Oh God, don't tell him that.
I love you, son.
No, you know what? I think I'll get a call from my dad when my stepmom dies. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, my stepmom's a fucking miserable cunt. It's like funny. Like, my dad met my stepmom through like my cunt aunt, who's not my aunt anymore. She got divorced out of the family. And it's like, she was a cunt, and all her friends were cunts.
Right.
And my dad married one of her dumb friends.
Oh, God.
And, I think once she dies, like, me and my dad will maybe be, like, civil.
Okay.
But, I don't know, I just can't help but make fun of her. Or any, really, like, him too. Like, I just don't care. Like, it's kind of like,
So she kind of put a strain on your relationship with your father.
Dude, me and my brother both, like, when we met her, we're like, don't marry her, she's horrible. Like, we don't like her, she's not a good person. Like,
right.
Maybe she gives a good blowjob, I don't know. But like,
butt stuff's usually a good selling.
Oh, my dad's half a fag. Like, my dad like walks around singing like show tunes. But now
doesn't make you a fag.
But now so do I. Like, I'm singing Summer Lovin', so you know, I would put myself in that category too.
First Travolta.
I always say, I don't discriminate against beautiful people.
Is that what he said to the masseuse?
No, he said, come on, pull your penis out. I want to see it. Come on, let me see your pecker.
All right. You know what's funny? Okay. So Travolta had a son die about, I don't know, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah.
And, my mom gets confused, and she saw a tabloid, and she said, "Do you hear John Travolta's son died? He was a retard, and he fell in the tub." But it turned out he died of some terminal illness. But my mom, for some reason, thought he was retarded, and he tripped in the tub.
Well, no, his kid supposedly had like autism or something, and then they tried to revive him, like.
But that just makes what my mom said even more horrible.
John Travolta, like, told the Thetans, like, you're not supposed to leave the body. Get back in the body. Like, he was yelling at the Thetans, but then they didn't go back in the body. And then they had that other kid right after, because apparently if the Thetans, like, they linger around Earth for a while and maybe find another vessel, so they think that's the same soul of the...
God.
It's the same soul of my son. Did you see my John Gotti movie? I look like a Saint Bernard. Oh my god.
He was awful on that.
I can't even do a good John Travolta anymore because he's not imitatable. Like, he was imitatable back in like 74 when Dice did him. Now he's just like, I'm John God. Like, just real, like, with his giant face. Although I am excited. Fred Durst is directing him in a new movie.
Oh, yeah?
Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, one of the best live bands I've ever seen, is directing John Travolta in a film called The Fanatic, where John Travolta is like stalking this action star, like, I just wanted an autograph. And the guy like doesn't like him, and then he like breaks in his house and like fucking rapes him. I don't know what he does.
Fucking stalker.
But it looks fucking
That's
really. Dude, I saw this like they don't advertise that Fred Durst directed it. That was like after I googled him, like The Fanatic, John Travolta. Like, yeah, that looks cool, like video on demand, but I'll watch it. And then I look, and it's like Limp Bizkit's Fred Durst directs John Travolta in new movie. Like, oh wow. Really scraping the bottom of the barrel there for directors.
I was gonna say,
didn't Fred try his hand at acting for a period there? He was like in an episode of Millennial or some shit.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know. When you're in an episode of Millennium, does that really qualify you as trying your hand at acting?
Good point.
I'm not
and you're Fred Durst.
Man, I got so sick of that band. They were so overplayed.
Yeah. Chocolate covered starfish and a hot dog flavored water. Is that what it's called? Something like that, right?
Something like
Something
that.
about assholes and hot dogs. Like,
that was the dark time of music.
It was a dark time.
It was the dark
I
time.
did it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. Come on, so you can take that cookie and stick it up your
Every fucking day.
I'll tell you, man, that was one of the best fucking live shows I've ever seen. I'm not lying.
Yeah, you said that story, right? Yeah.
I said that. They fucking blew the Deftones and Linkin Park and Mudvayne out of the water. So, you know, that's three bands that are also fucking horrible. But Metallica was really good. Even though it was Saint Anger. But I'll say, like, fucking Fred Durst, that was... Limp Bizkit was one thing I'll never forget. That was a crazy live show.
What would make it so crazy?
Yeah, what did you like about it? Like,
dude, my expectations were so low. I'm like, Limp Bizkit, this is gonna be fucking horrible.
Right.
Like, I hate this music. Those guys went out, they played their balls off. He's not very talented, but he knows what he's good at doing, and he also has a ton of props. Like, he just had a shotgun that he's like firing blanks into the air, and like there's fire behind him, and then he runs around the entire room doing that Behind Blue Eyes song. It was just like cool. Like, he came all the way fucking all over the place. They followed him. It was like a shtick, but it was a good fucking concert. Like, it was a good stage show. I felt like I got my money's worth. Like, I hated the first three bands. So I give him credit, man. He works his balls off. He's not very talented, but he works his balls off.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to have talent. And I was going to bring this up a couple weeks ago. Like, when the last Strip Down Aces show we did, I didn't have my best voice, but you still find a way. And I was actually more proud of myself for being able to adapt than having my A game and just blowing everybody away. But
I mean, the showmanship, I guess.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, it's the personality and the interacting and the.
It's why I'd rather watch David Lee Roth than Sammy Hagar. Like, I would say Sammy Hagar is probably a better singer. Like,
agreed.
Technically,
agreed.
But I would rather hear David Lee Roth Van Halen and watch David Lee Roth perform
just do his weird shit.
That's where the party is.
Yeah, my brother saw his solo show. He actually got on
with Derek Sheridan and fucking Steve Vai. Like,
it was Greg Bissonette, Steve Vai, and Billy Sheehan.
Billy Sheehan, rather, yeah.
Yeah. One of the best backup bands ever.
Fuck yeah.
And then he did like Just Like Paradise, and he was on a fucking surfboard through Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
And so it was pretty cool. I think, I don't know who opened. One of the lesser bands. It might have been a Warrant or a Poison. But
a Warrant or a Poison.
You know, it's funny. I do demos at that Brookdale ShopRite, and they have this like 80s channel, and it's really funny. Like, it's every. This is the story I wanted to tell. All right, so I'm walking through the store doing the shopping of my supplies, and a particular 80s song comes on. Then I see there's a grocery manager who I have to call ahead of time to make sure they have the product. And he's like a metal dude with, he's got like tattoos that are thrown into his thing. But he's really good to the customers. We were talking about bands we like, and he goes to the Starland. He meets all the metal acts that are on their way out.
Cool, man.
And so he's singing this particular 80s song. Then I go by in the deli, and there's a black guy. I see his dreads coming out of his hat. He's like bopping to this song. Old lady doing the in-store shopping, singing it. And then a kid who couldn't have been any older than like 17 singing the same song. It was fucking We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off by that guy who had AIDS. We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. So it was about the song about abstinence, sung by a gay guy who wound up getting AIDS. And like all these people from every walk of life was like bopping to the song as I walked around the store. It would be better if you knew the song, but
This is a real thing.
What?
I believe this.
Yeah, no, it really happened. Like, it was the worst song ever that everybody liked. But I think what it is a melody with a phrase that triggers something in us. Close off is a phrase that, makes us think of
I have to
sex.
close off my platter so it doesn't come out.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a good thing if you control your bladder.
I think it's just catchy.
And then you have a good melody underneath. You have a good phrase with a good melody, and it could be and it's it's fucking 80s-tastic bullshit, keys and shit. It's a terrible song. You fucking hate it.
I probably heard it.
It was in an episode of Scrubs. I don't know. You don't watch Scrubs.
I blocked out Scrubs too. I like the janitor. I wish the show was only him.
The janitor was the best.
And
it turns out the janitor was the dude in The Fugitive that goes Kimball.
Oh yeah.
He gets shot by the bad guy and then he goes on Kimball.
That's right.
Yeah, his name is Neil Flynn. He was in that Lindsay Lohan movie I like as Lindsay Lohan's dad. Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
And he had a sitcom of his own after Scrubs. I don't know. I like Dr. Cox. I like McGinley. That guy's great.
Dr. Cox.
Yeah, he's just like this dick, and he's such a good doctor, he gets away with being a dick.
Like House.
Yeah.
They had good rock.
Or like the sound guy at the Clash Bar. Sorry. I only get 3
Why are you
digs.
apologizing?
Do you want me to run sound for your show? What?
Get your shit out of the fucking way!
Nice.
I don't have patience for those people. Fucking assholes. I don't miss it.
You don't? Not at all?
I miss, well, you know what? I just cuck out the sound guy when I feel like running sound for something that's worthy of my time. I just do it gratis.
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Take a break, punk. Fucking just kick him in the ass as he walks away.
Leave Dylan and Ryan alone.
I love the time.
Dylan, do the chopper.
No, the fucking, the one kid, what's his name? I don't remember his name. He came up to me, Damien. He's like, I was mixing sound. My friend's band was playing. Like, I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'll come run sound for you guys. And so I was mixing them. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm running sound for this band. He's like, if my boss sees you up here, he's gonna freak the fuck out. I go, Bob? I go tell him. I dare you. I go, my name's Paul. Go tell him. So he's like, all right, man, whatever. And he just fucking walked away. He wasn't fucking with me. And then after that, we were cool. But he was like, it's like, I know Bob. Like, fucking Bob's not going to give a shit. I work here,
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to care.
Right.
He wants to see this band more than I do. That's why I'm running sound for it, so it's as good as it can be. Like, I know all the songs. I was, like, producing them. The Undergrounds. That's, they were like a 2-piece from here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were cool. And then the drummer moved to Mexico, and but we recorded like all these songs. Me and Chris still like write songs and stuff. We're playing the show.
Oh, you
the COC show, the Cox show.
Nice.
You you did their record. Yeah, you were telling me about the Undergrounds.
The Undergrounds kick ass.
You mixed their record, right?
I mixed their record, and it was like, and then I ended up playing bass for them. Like originally, what I wanted to do was play bass for them, because like they're a 2-piece. It was like, it was cool and it was chic at the time, but it's like you can do so much more as a three-piece. Like, just get a guy that plays bass and sings back.
That's why the Aces got a rhythm section. We done as much as we could with just Allie and I.
And basically what happened is like we did it a couple of times. It was good. We were like recording a lot of stuff, and then the drummer just like off to Mexico. Like he just moved like without telling anybody.
Oh jeez, that sounds familiar.
What was he, in trouble or something?
No, he was in love. To be loved. It's like a fucking dick move. You don't just go to Mexico.
Right.
I know a drummer who went to Texas.
That's hilarious. How many bands can you be in, do you think, before you just like lose bandwidth in life?
I don't know. I think if you give it your all and that's what your life is, like if you're just in bands to, I was in this band and that band, like, well then you're like a cock. Like I could say on good authority that I was in 3 bands. Okay. I was in my band, I was in the Undead, and I was in the Accelerators. Like those are the 3 bands that like I was in for a year and a half, 2 years, like contributed something in some way positively to those bands. Like it's not just like a band that like I filled in. Like how many bands did I fill in for? Fucking a whole hell of a lot more. But like I wouldn't consider me as like being in those bands. I was filling somebody else's shoes that couldn't be there. Right. And there was like, I played bass in people's bands, I played guitar in people's bands, fucking sang for people's bands. That like, it was just covers or whatever, but I'm like, all right, you don't have a singer? I'm like, yeah, I know these songs, I'll do them. Like,
might as well.
But I wouldn't consider myself as being in that band.
Right. I get it. I was briefly in a ska band called Scalision, but I was basically a fill-in. And the lead singer, this chick Zan, she did that carnal sin thing that pissed me off. I had 4 rehearsals to learn 10 songs. I'm not that great of a drummer to begin with. I thought I did a great job, and ska was a lot easier to play drums with than some of the faster punk that I just didn't have the stamina for. Anyway, I thought I had a good show, but like at the end, she's like, "You'll have to forgive our drummer. He's new. He doesn't know all our nuances yet."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Why would you fucking point that out?" And I was like, "Terry got me into this situation." I was like, "Terry, I'm not fucking sticking around with this. That's fucking hack. I don't know. No, fuck this. I don't need this."
Bitchy.
And so I walked away. And then I made the Adam beat and found my wife.
There you go.
So I did all right.
Must have been fate.
No, I mean, the thing is with the band thing, like, there was this bitch who came out of the woodworks from my high school. We call her Pirate Hag. And,
Pirate Hag.
She was a bitch in high school, hated everybody. We became friends senior year into the first year out of high school. She showed up at my house at 1:30 in the morning, completely pissed drunk. I gave her coffee, I put her to bed, I put a blanket on it, and went up in my own room. Did right by this girl. I'm not trying to get credit for not doing anything creepy, but she was crying because she was upset that this guy broke up with her, talked to her, and then she comes out of the woodworks and used politics to like lash out on me for like plugging my band too much and making embarrassing videos and just like really shredded me. She's just like, "And you're never gonna make it." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck you. I already made it. I have a club that I can play at anytime I want, 8 minutes away from my house. I met my wife and all of my friends. I've made it."
There you go.
So like, it is what it is. I mean, like, I don't know. And if I can get a song on a commercial, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's not many 44-year-old, overweight guys that are, selling out Madison Square Garden that already have a catalog.
Glenn Danzig.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you going to the show? Did you get your tickets?
I believe I am going to the show to see Rancid and the Damned and the Misfits.
I'm telling you, one of the guys from Rancid is probably going to jump on the stage with the Misfits. Because he always does. Because it's the German guy, and he jumped up on the stage with the Ramones at Lollapalooza. Klaus or whatever.
The Misfits are going to beat his ass.
Yeah. You think?
Doyle ain't going to have that. Doyle's going to think he's just an intruder. He doesn't recognize faces.
Right? I'm sure it was pre-planned because I mean, like you don't just surprise the Ramones at their late age by 1996.
The Ramones are just fucking. They're on autopilot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
They're not. I unfortunately I got to see them, but I saw them in an outdoor venue. I don't think they're made for an outdoor venue. It was with the sound system. It was hard to differentiate one
I don't
song
think
from
the
another.
Ramones were made to last more than fucking 20 years. Like when I really like the Ramones from when they started to about like 89, like Too Tough to Die and like that kind
Whatever
of
the
shit.
record was that had Bonzo Goes to Pittsburgh, that was kind of like, that's a great fucking song.
I don't
that was a
know. Once they
later
get
era
into
song.
the 90s, it starts to get like a little questionable. Like CJ kind of brings some cool stuff to the game, but
Right.
for the most part,
It's not the classic. It's not. I
it's
get it.
nowhere near. Like even like Pet Sematary. Like I fucking hate that song. Like I know you like that song.
No, it's just
Everybody likes that song. I hate it.
No. I'm embarrassed to say, like, my parents didn't listen to the Ramones. I didn't really know who the Ramones were until Pet Sematary. I'm embarrassed to say. I had no idea who they were. And then I started to notice, like, oh, that Pet
But
Sematary
that's your
band.
old school, man.
Yeah,
Like the Ramones weren't just everywhere like they are now. Not every dickhead had a Ramones shirt.
But then around that time, Dee Dee left, and like I remember Kurt Loder, Dee Dee Ramone, on his own to do a rap record. Did anybody
I'm
ever
a
actually?
funky man, my name is Dee Dee Ramone.
You've heard the record. I've never actually heard the record. Is it good or is it terrible?
Oh my god.
Is it like when the Clash starts
It's
to rap?
horribly great. It's like these beats that are like boo 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 boo.
I'm a funky guy. I got no home. I'm a funky man. My
Oh my
name
God.
is Dee Dee Ramone.
That's
So
exactly
he's
what
doing
it
like
sounds
Run DMC era
Yeah.
kind of rap. You
Yeah,
know,
he was
like the sports guys would do, you know. Where the man sugar the groove.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
shit.
It's like every fucking like silly rap that you've ever heard, but it's Dee Dee Ramone. I'm funky. It's fucking great. Fucking great. I recommend it.
I gotta hear this record now. I remember the story, but I never actually pursued to hear it because I didn't really.
I
Like
was
rap
always
then,
super
other than the
intrigued by
Beastie
Dee Dee
Boys.
Ramone wearing like tracksuits and like fucking dressing like a rapper.
He probably saw the Beastie Boys and probably had license to.
I always think about that. I'm like, if I ever went on tour with like a band that, like, if I ever went on tour with the Undead, I would definitely buy tracksuits just to wear when I'm like out and about on the street. Just to be like that asshole that like changes into my costume. Like, yeah, I'm going on stage. I better get my skinny jeans and my ripped up shirt. Oh god. You know, like fucking. I don't know. It always felt like a costume when I'm putting it on. Like I don't dress like this. Like with like this stupid bullshit.
I just think of an old Italian guy in the mob when I think of tracksuit.
Yeah, that's the best thought ever.
You need like that big gold chain and like those big ass sunglasses.
Do you guys have an asshole of the week?
You know what? If I don't, now I have a new out. My asshole of the week is Skeletor. I am sick and tired of him terrorizing the good people of Eternia.
Wow.
Your turn.
I saw some BBC thing about some guy who was taking pictures of his 1-year-old daughter and selling them to like child pornography sites, and that guy's my asshole of the week.
I have two assholes of the week.
By asshole of the week.
Well, the best insult I ever heard was "you have two assholes."
Nice.
A kid said that in like 3rd grade to another kid. This kid BJ, his initials were BJ.
Nice.
He came to my school, and then you know, everybody knew what a BJ was.
Right.
And this kid, I guess, had heard it all before, being that that was his name, Blowjob. And
you should have been one.
he said to another kid, "You have two assholes."
Nice.
And I just thought that was the greatest insult I had ever heard at that point. This kid is genius.
Does that imply that there's two?
I don't know
assholes
where it
in the
implied that they were, because
Or is your mouth one of the
yeah, I think
assholes?
the
Is
mouth
what I
was
think.
the second one.
I think
yes.
the mouth, yeah.
Yeah, because there's shit coming out of your mouth. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my
that kid's-
asshole of the week, I have two of them.
Okay.
This morning I got up, got in my car, was going to work, going out the exit of my space station.
Right.
It's a one-way street there. And somebody decided they were going to come in that way.
Oh god.
So I fucking flipped out. I was like hammering on my horn. I made them pull on. I got out and yelled like out of my car, "Fucking you pull over! Get the fuck over!"
Nice.
I'm not fucking backing up. And I fucking passed them. I'm like, "You're a fucking asshole!" I yelled at him.
Nice.
I wish I had a lit cigarette to throw in their car. Wow. Yeah, that's how annoyed I was. You don't fucking go in the exit like that. That's like a very thin street.
It's ridiculous.
I haven't seen him this annoyed since Jersey Panic did a bad Green Day.
So fucking talk about Jersey Panic in this fucking house. Fuck you. And then I was coming home and I saw the funniest thing. It looked like a person got into the right lane of a 2-lane street and tried to make a left turn in front of a bus and just turned right into the bus with their BMW. And I just fucking drove past and saw these 2 zeros like this. Holding their head like, and the cops are like looking. The BMW's like crushed into the bus.
Oh shit.
Busted! Get it? Busted.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, it was just fucking great. Like, I don't know. I mean, I felt bad for all the people that were trapped on the bus because the BMW was probably pinning the door closed.
Oh shit.
Well, they can always go out the back door.
The cops were there, and then like as I'm driving down, I see like he's got to be a good Samaritan because he looks like the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Like he's not in a cop uniform, and he's just going like this. He's like standing in front of the fucking bridge, the Lyndhurst Bridge where this was, and he's going like this. You can't go this way. You can go this way. You can go this way. He's just fucking like waving the cars down. Wow. So yeah, those. I guess my asshole Louis is the lady driving towards me, and the 2 dumb dildos that crashed their BMW into a fucking bus.
Nice.
And I don't know. I really think. Somebody posted online something and I responded back and like she was like, whatever floats your boat. And I said, you know what floats my boat is like the suffering of stupid people doing dumb things. That fuels me. Like that makes my boat just fucking float so high. Like just watching like idiot fucking stupid people do stupid shit.
Nice.
Fuels me.
That gives you energy.
Yeah. So really they're my fuel of the week. This fuels me. All my warriors, they fuel me. My warriors of idiocy.
You're like the parasite, but you fuel on energy of idiots.
I'm like the ultimate warrior if he was fueled by negativity.
Nice.
It's like I see pollution, I'm like, fresh air! This is great. I wish there was more garbage around. I'm crying.
Yeah. Where did the garbage?
Crying because of all this grass. You know, I hate trees. And on that note, I think we're gonna get out of here.
Hey guys, so I'm heading to the Stray Cats 40th anniversary show in AC, so I'm gonna do a lot of filming. I'm just gonna do a pompadour and just go up to people and try to interview them, and I might get punched in the face.
Alright.
Wow, we can only hope.
But yeah.
Love you guys.
Bye guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to see back episodes of the show, youtube.com/Plan10 Studios, cultofcontempt.org, or right here on Facebook, Cult of Contempt Network. Even check us out on Instagram at Cult of Contempt Podcast. You want to reach Paul? It's at Paul Mauld on Twitter and Instagram, and Paul of the Living Dead on Facebook.com. Phil Perry, the writer, on Instagram, and his Facebook fan page at Phil Perry, the writer. I'm Jim Cook at Jim Cook on Facebook, or Jim Cook Voice Actor on Facebook. You want to get a hold of me directly, jcookvoice@yahoo.com. On behalf of Paul and Phil, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 8:15. I'm Jim Cook. Transmission out. Stand by for contact. We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to see back episodes of the show, youtube.com/Plan10 Studios, cultofcontempt.org, or right here on Facebook, Cult of Contempt Network. Even check us out on Instagram at Cult of Contempt Podcast. You want to reach Paul? It's at Paul Mauld on Twitter and Instagram, and Paul of the Living Dead on Facebook.com.